Hello everyone, this is Dave Lipscomb, Director of Strategic Communications for PBI. Thanks for joining us for the second episode of CPBO's CLOs and Pro Bono podcast series. In this week's installment, I interview Michael Holston, Executive Vice President and General Counsel of pharmaceutical company and CPBO challenge signatory Merck. Mike provided insight into Merck's Pro Bono program, one of the longest-running in-house pro bono programs in the U.S., shared why being a CPBO challenge signatory is important, as well as how the Merck Foundation supports the legal department's pro bono partners. We hope you enjoy the interview. Hi, Mike. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. To get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your legal department, and its pro bono program?
Sure. This is Mike Holston from Merck. And so our pro bono program began in 1994, probably one of the earliest in the corporate sector here in the United States. And it has grown to where we have about 150 attorneys and paralegals and other professionals working on pro bono matters for in partnership with probably a dozen or so not-for-profit organizations around the country.
Tell us why pro bono is so important to law department leaders, to the business community, to the department staff, to the communities that you serve.
There is an enormous need for legal representation here in the United States to assist people who can't afford their own legal representation. So it's really all about access to justice and providing those opportunities for people who can't afford it for themselves. And those opportunities, that need is growing every year. And in terms of the number of people who fail to qualify or are unable to afford their own legal representation is growing, and the number of issues for which people need legal assistance to navigate in today's world is also growing. So we need more and more lawyers to step up to the challenge and assist those who need legal help.
Certainly great reasons to do pro bono, aside from the obvious of helping folks who are in need and may not get that kind of help otherwise. What are some of the benefits of pro bono work?
You know, I think we can, in any company, you can find yourselves in a little bit of a cocoon and not really as aware of what's going on out there in society at large as you might be. And so this provides an opportunity to see what the needs are out there. And frankly, many of these people are also obviously patients of and users of our products. So it gets us closer to what our customer base really is. Beyond that, I think it provides our lawyers and other professionals an opportunity to use some of their skills in ways they don't use them in performing their daily responsibilities in their job. And so we sometimes sort of think of it as exercising muscles that may not get exercised in the daily course of doing their regular jobs. It's also a great opportunity for team building for members of the Merck department to partner together to work on projects and to provide needed assistance to people is a rewarding experience. It's also an opportunity for our attorneys and other professionals to partner with some of our law firm partners and work with them on some of these projects, which we've also done with quite a number of law firms who are regular providers of legal services to Merck. We partner with them on pro bono projects.
Great. Your department is a signatory to the Corporate Pro Bono Challenge Initiative. Why is that important?
Yeah, you know, I think it Pro bono, no one will dispute that pro bono is important, and everyone will say they're committed to participating. But it's nice to put your name to a piece of paper that says, I've got a specific goal, and I'm going to work towards achieving that goal. And as we all know, what you measure and what you commit to tend to be the things you do the best at. And so I think the Corporate Pro Bono Challenge encourages people to make that leap and say, I'm going to commit myself and my team to try and achieve these goals. And it's not about what the consequences are if you don't achieving them. It's about setting a goal out there and measuring the team's performance towards achieving that goal.
So speaking of goals, what goals have you and your department set for the Pro Bono program?
So we have some internal goals about the number of people who participate, as well as the number of hours that people participate. But we also try to, again, remember why we're doing this, and we think about the number of people we can try and help. So it's not about us. It's actually about the clients, our pro bono clients who need assistance. So we do track, as I say, our hours and our people and the percentage of our people that volunteer, which is important to do. But we also like to pay attention to the number of people that we're able to assist in each of the different areas in which we work, as well as the total number of people we're able to assist on an annual basis. Because I think that's a good way for us to step back and realize that we've got a lot of very talented professionals in this organization, and if we work together and collaborate, we can bring needed assistance to an awful lot of people out there.
As a Chief Legal Officer, what role do you play in encouraging pro bono in your department and in the greater legal community?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've thought about that a lot over the last 10 years at a couple of different companies in this job. So I think it's a number of different roles. First and foremost, I think it's to talk internally about the importance of the program and to make it clear to everybody inside of the company that this is something we want them to do. So not only is it okay to spend your time doing this, we want you and you're encouraged to do that. So it makes it safe for people to feel like they can take time to go work on important projects and not feel like they're going to be in trouble or that they're taking time away from their other work. So that, I'd say, is the first and probably most important role. And then it's to increase in a company like Merck, where there have been 3 of my predecessors who have been general counsel in the 22 years we've had a program. So that's an accepted value at Merck at this point. And so now I'd say it's also to just create visibility for the different programs that are out there. Make sure everybody who wants to give time can do so in a way that they find most rewarding and where they can deliver the most value. So it's talking about the different programs, giving airtime at company and department-wide meetings for the different programs and opportunities that are out there. I play a role in encouraging the partnership with our law firm partners, reaching out to those law firms, asking for assistance where need be, creating opportunities for partnership. And then finally, it's to serve on the board of some of the organizations and to get leaders of my team to serve on the boards of some of the organizations so that we can hopefully provide some assistance, financial as well as stewardship, and to make sure those organizations are going in the direction that we think makes sense, because we do have hundreds of people here giving of their time. So we do think we have a point of view about how to best run some of these organizations and can add a voice to assisting the not-for-profits in achieving their goals.
Now, I imagine there are some attorneys that perhaps are doing pro bono for the first time, at Merck, and it sounds like you've created an environment in which, like you said, you want people to feel safe doing that and have backing of the legal department to do it. What was your experience like getting involved in pro bono? And then how has pro bono played a role in your career as it's advanced?
Yeah, so I had the good fortune to start a law firm in Philadelphia, Drinker, Biddle and Reese, in which there was a long history of engaging in pro bono work. So much like a lawyer that walked into Merck today would feel, I felt very comfortable stepping up and volunteering to do pro bono work. Lots of different kinds. Actually, along with a couple of colleagues of mine, talked the law firm into letting us take a death penalty case in the late 1980s. That ultimately led to a new trial and acquittal. And maybe most interestingly for today's topic, the partner in charge of that matter that I talked into working on the case with me, which wasn't a very hard sell, was Ken Frazier, who's now my boss. So Ken and I practiced law together in the late 1980s, and along with a couple of other colleagues, worked on a death penalty case out of Alabama that led to, as I said, a new trial and acquittal for somebody wrongly convicted in Alabama in the 1970s. So that was one of my first and early experiences to pro bono. Obviously, an intense opportunity, but a great opportunity. After returning from government service to private practice, I spent a lot of time taking court-appointed criminal cases. So I was on the Criminal Justice Act panel, and for more than a decade would take anywhere from 2 to 3 criminal court appointment cases a year that I would handle for clients and get young associates to partner with me, teach them the ropes, just like I had been taught by Ken, of how to handle those cases, and that it was okay to work on these cases and to get the benefit and the experience of getting into a courtroom in a way they wouldn't have necessarily for some of the other work they did. So those were my private practice pro bono experiences. And then became a general counsel, and obviously couldn't do those same kinds of matters, and so I had to get myself outside my own comfort zone. And so in some ways, like some of the new lawyers that would walk into a company, volunteered for matters where I really didn't have a lot of expertise. I personally have handled and am handling cases for veterans, where I work with some of my colleagues here in the company who have more experience in this space than me and are helping me along and teaching me the ropes. And so I try to give voice to that, to the members of the Merck legal department, to say, you're never too old to learn and to go ahead and dive in, and you're going to be more valuable to that person than you think, because they have no legal representation right now.
Those are certainly great personal experiences. Are there any efforts, any pro bono projects done by Merck of which you're particularly proud?
It's hard to pick out just one. We do a great deal of work in the veteran space with the National Veterans Legal Services Program, and so that is work I think we feel very proud of. These are people who've served their country and given of themselves in ways that many of us in the company have not, and so to be able to assist them is very important. We also do a lot of work with local legal services in New Jersey and in Southeast Pennsylvania, legal aid and legal services organizations, again, work we feel very proud of for legal assistance to low-income individuals in the areas of bankruptcy and family law matters, as well as landlord-tenant issues. Are also areas where we spend time. And then I personally also I'm on the board of the Innocence Project and spend time working on cases in that area with some of my colleagues.
Is there any global pro bono work that you're either interested in or involved in right now?
We are doing some more international pro bono work, and that's there are a lot of technical obstacles and hurdles you have to come over, but there are organizations that can assist you with doing that. And so we have worked with Trust Law, which is administered by the Reuters Foundation, and with PillNet to provide opportunities. There's a tremendous appetite among our international colleagues at Merck to get involved, and so and yet pro bono organizations are not as common or as they haven't been stood up for quite as long in some countries, and so the opportunities there are a little bit of a challenge, but we're working every day to try and find opportunities for our international colleagues that are out there, and many instances we work with our outside law firms in that space as well.
Increasingly, legal departments join forces with their companies' corporate social responsibility teams and foundations to have a greater impact on the communities they serve with pro bono legal services. Can you talk a little bit about any such initiatives at Merck?
Absolutely. We're very fortunate at Merck, all employees, and in the Merck legal department in particular. Merck has a long history of giving back to the community through philanthropic endeavors, and in lots of different ways, but including giving of product, but obviously in one way that's important all the time, which is in giving of money. And the Merck Foundation and the Merck legal department the Merck Corporation love to put money behind issues where the employees feel passionate and are giving of their time. So we have gotten the support of the company to put funds into the organization where Merck lawyers are volunteering their time. So our time and our expertise are incredibly important, but so is the money that we're able to provide. And I think we found a good partnership where the company wants to give money, where its employees want to give of their time, and have expressed their view that particular issues are of importance to them.
Before we wrap up here, just one more question. Obviously you've been involved in pro bono for a long time, and so you've certainly seen the changes in the landscape and how it's done and who's getting involved. What direction would you like to see pro bono move going forward?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one of the things that needs to happen, and I've been a bit of an advocate for and will continue to be, and that is that we need to provide more public resources in terms of funding for these organizations that are doing this important work. The need for legal services in this space is growing all the time, and the funding is shrinking, and that's a problem. So I think it is great that we're getting more people to volunteer. I think we need to continue to do that, but I think so first and foremost, I'd say we need to continue to get more money towards these organizations that are doing this important work, because these dollars go a long way. When you think about how many people get legal services out of some of these organizations, these dollars that we give go a long way. So that's one thing. I'd also love to continue to see the international pro bono opportunities expand for all the reasons we've already talked about. It brings our team closer together. It gives our ex-U.S. colleagues an opportunity to work together with each other as well as with our U.S. colleagues. So I'd love to see those opportunities continue. And then at a personal level, I think there's significant issues around innocence in the legal system in the United States that I still think there's tremendous opportunities there.
Excellent. Mike, we really appreciate you spending some time with us and doing this podcast. Thank you for listening to our interview with Michael Holston, Executive Vice President and General Counsel of Merck. To learn more about CLOs and pro bono, visit cpbo.org/CLOS. On neighboring pages, you can also find more information about in-house pro bono and the CPBO Challenge Initiative, including information about how to sign up. While online, head over to PBI's website at probonoinst.org to register for the 2016 PBI Annual Dinner on November 3rd in New York, where we will celebrate the 10th anniversary of the CPBO Challenge Initiative and all of its signatories. That's all for this week, and we'll see you again on the next episode of CPBO's CLOs and Pro Bono podcast series.